Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, Ramadan is the month of festivities. Ramadan is actually the month where we seek forgiveness, where we seek mercy, and where we seek blessings from Allah Almighty. And I think that it should always be celebrated in a way where we think about festivities, where we think about getting together, where we think about patience, where we think about taqwa, where we think about all of those things which makes us a better human being and a better Muslim.
That's so true. So, ladies and gentlemen, our Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that it is the month whose beginning is mercy, the middle is forgiveness, and the end is release from the fire of hell. So, ladies and gentlemen, this happens to be the first Ashra, which means we are going to learn to observe and practice mercy.
Exactly, and since you mentioned about the first Ashra, ladies and gentlemen, which is definitely known as the first 10 days of the month as well, we've divided the entire Ramadan in 3 Ashras as well, where the first one is about mercy, and we'll start with the prayer of that Ashra 2 as well, which is Rabbighfir warham wa anta khairur rahimin. Allah, please forgive me, have mercy on me, because you are the merciful as well. I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best prayer to get started with as well, where we are seeking for mercy and we are seeking for forgiveness as well.
Absolutely.
And we are seeking for forgiveness for all of those sins which we did intentionally or unintentionally.
Absolutely.
And I think that to talk about the first Ashra, its importance, taqwa, confidence, patience, and all of these things, it is very important to have a scholar who can actually let us know things to do, things not to do within this holy month as well. And for that, we have been joined by Maulana Imran Sandhu Sahab, who's an Islamic scholar as well, very well known. Assalamu alaikum. Ramazan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa Ramadan Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. But first things first, and this is how I wanted to start as well, and that is that Imran Sahab, whenever we talk about Ramadan, I think that, a lot of people, they get confused, a lot of people, they get stressed, a lot of people have problems that, oh, Ramadan is approaching, because we just went through that phase as well. And, we have to do this, we have to do that. There's this pressure building from our peers as well, or, Ramadan's coming, we do not have to do this, we do not have to do this. Why don't you think that we need to probably welcome Ramzan with arms wide open, with smiles on our face, because this is a month of festivity itself?
Yes, definitely. As we speak of Ramadan, as we are entering into Ramadan, we should, it is the third most important pillar of Islam.
Exactly.
The first pillar is Iman, the second pillar is Salah or Namaz, and the third pillar is Saum. So, as you just asked me this question, that we should be welcoming Ramadan with open hands.
Yes.
In the era of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people would definitely start, doing things that would welcome Ramadan. Like they would be thinking about many things. They would rather plan Ramadan.
Exactly.
How can we plan Ramadan? But before we answer this question, we should understand the philosophy, what philosophy works behind Ramadan.
Exactly.
Look, being a Muslim, it actually means that we have to do certain things,
Right.
and we have to refrain from doing certain things.
Exactly.
Aside of being peaceful in the society, the peace should be, coming to us by, doing certain actions, like offering prayers five times a day and reciting Quran into it.
Exactly.
Why do we recite Quran? Because we have to implement that Quran that we recite 5 times a day into our life.
Exactly.
Right.
Ramadan is, from that perspective, Ramadan is the month in which Quran was revealed, started to reveal to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it came from the Lawh-e Mahfuz to the first sky, right? So this was the month of Ramadan, and then it was slowly revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in 23 years.
Yeah.
So in Ramadan, we start by doing suhoor,
Yeah.
right? And when a person reverts back to Islam, or he is born as a Muslim, regardless of what has happened, our whole life is like a roza,
Exactly.
a saum, right? We have to refrain from certain acts, like refrain from haram things, and then we have to do deeds as well, good deeds as well. So, in what happens in a saum, the same thing happens in our life generally.
Right.
Rather, Saum or Ramadan is a practice of what we have to do in the next coming 11 months.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? So, in Ramadan, how do we practice it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to keep the fast from dawn to dusk. Lots of halal things we refrain from, like food, like drink. We have to keep forbearance on our thirst, and then we have to be patient on our hunger. And then not only these very important things, we also keep fast of stopping those habits that are not good. For example, normally in normal days, although backbiting is a very bad sin, but somehow it starts entering into us, and we develop a habit of talking about each other in a negative way. So Ramadan is a very, very good opportunity whereby you can start refraining and practicing to stop backbiting.
Right.
Right? And then lots of ethical and moral values. The companions of the Prophet, as they would enter Ramadan, they would not relax themselves from their daily duties. They would go to work. Even they went to jihad in Ramadan
While fasting.
While fasting. But then they would increase the level of dhikr, they would increase their level of patience, forbearance in Ramadan. They would not, even in normal days, if they would get angry with someone, in Ramadan they would stop getting angry with it for the sake of practice, for the sake of pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Sir, but since we are definitely talking about Ramzan, you've talked about all the things that one has to practice during this month. I mean, this is definitely a great thing for one's own personality as well. But when we think about our Creator, Allah putting us through this test, there's definitely a wisdom behind it. Let's talk about that. Because a human cannot probably comprehend what the real objectives of this are, right?
Yeah. So there are quite many, wisdom behind, putting 1 month. Look, first of all, there are, if we go or ponder into this, how the Ramzan is set up or organized for Muslims. Like, we've got a month, whole of a month, that is fixed for fasting.
Right.
Why whole of a month? Why not 30 days, any 30 days of your choice?
Right.
Right? The reason being, you have to go in as a nation. This is a big time festivity for Muslim nation, as you called it, as
right, absolutely.
like going in together, keeping the fast together, thinking of the poor people who are mostly starving together, and then stopping from bad deeds together, changing altogether an environment, changing your personality in a positive way.
Right.
And then, of course, thinking about the less lucky people.
Exactly, and we'll definitely talk about it in detail too as well, ladies and gentlemen. But then at the same time, I think it is very important to witness scientifically what actually happens to our body when we keep a fast, and which means to remain hungry. And it's not just remaining hungry, it's just, refraining yourself from saying something bad to somebody else, harming somebody.
Any sort of sins.
Harming from your tongue or probably from your hands. So for all of those things, ladies and gentlemen, here's a video which is actually going to let you know what happens when you fast.
Your body when you fast in each stage of the 30 days of fasting. Stage 1. During the first couple of days of fasting, both blood sugar level and blood pressure drop. The body starts the cleansing process, and the first few days are the hardest as they are usually accompanied with headaches, dizziness, nausea, and intense hunger. Stage 2. During the second stage, the body becomes accustomed to the fasting schedule and the digestive system is able to rest. The digestive system focuses its energy on cleansing the body and healing the cells as the white blood cells in the body start to become more active. During this stage, the organs start their repair process as well. Stage 3. By the third stage, energy levels will have increased, your mind is able to concentrate better, and an overall feeling of wellness overtakes you. During fasting, the body's healing process becomes a lot more efficient, and so the body repairs any damaged cells during this stage. During this stage, the colon, liver, kidney, lungs, and skin are detoxing by eliminating toxins. Stage 4. During the last 10 days of fasting in Ramadan, the body has become accustomed to the fasting process. Your body becomes more energetic and you experience improved memory and concentration. At this stage, the organs are finishing up their healing process, and once all toxins are removed, the body is able to function at its maximum capacity. These are just some of the physical benefits of fasting that will take place within the body. But the spiritual benefits this month are far greater than anything mentioned here.
So imagine, ladies and gentlemen, other than the religious benefits and other than the blessings which will be bestowed upon you in the month of Ramadan, there are scientific reasons of getting fit and better and having a great memory as well.
Right.
Because of the fact that you were fasting.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, even science tells us that how to intake food regularly on a daily basis. And it says that the biggest meal of the day should be early in the morning, and relatively smaller after that towards the evening, and the smallest meal of the day should be before sleeping. And that is what Ramzan teaches us as well, right?
Exactly. But this is not what we do over here, because over here we are very habitual of eating pakoras and samosas in iftar. and you know, I think that we love it. And you know, every Pakistani, in fact, every Muslim all over the globe looks forward to Ramadan because of the fact that, you know, the type of cuisine we eat in this month is just superb. It's just fabulous. It spoils our taste buds and whatnot. But other than that, you know, not focusing too much on food, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to focus on things which we need to do in Ramadan and things which we really need to abide by. I mean, we need to abide by all of these things, but if we particularly look after all of those things, I think we'll definitely be a better Muslim.
Absolutely.
And I think that everybody needs to practice that as well. So Imran sahab, things which we need to do in Ramadan and things which we're not supposed to do in Ramadan at all.
Well, as we just saw on the documentary video, that there are physical benefits of fasting, and then there are spiritual benefits of fasting. You know, human being, if we go into a human being and try to understand what a human being is, human beings are they are made up of three things: body, mind, and spirit. Any one of it's not available, then it's no more a human being. We have to have a body, then we have to have a soul or a spirit, and then a mind. So this month of Ramadan not only brings lots of promises for our physical side, but also for our mental side and spiritual side. So the actions of spirit, what are the actions of spirit that we can improve in Ramadan, that we can change our habits to, like backbiting? It's a spiritual activity. If we refrain from it, mind tells us not to do backbiting, but something inside of us makes us enjoy somehow or the other. There's a kind of an enjoyment in this in this sin. Most of the sins, there is a degree of enjoyment, but when you enhance your self-control, you definitely enjoy that self-control more over the enjoyment over that enjoyment of the sin. So if you are not backbiting, every person in your environment, in your friends, would always say he's got a very, very good personality.
Yeah, that's true.
So Ramadan is, he never backbites. At this point, I remember, may Allah have mercy on him, Junaid Jamshed bhai.
Exactly.
When he, he embraced his shahada, everybody, what did everybody say about him?
Beautiful. Everybody had beautiful things to say.
Yeah, because everybody said that he would never backbite. He would always be smiling. So Ramadan is a point in one's life that comes for practice. And when you make yourself, like you go to a gym, you lift weights, you run, it will definitely benefit because you practice certain things, right? Similarly, Ramadan is a month of spiritual practice and intellectual practice as well.
Right, of course.
What are the kind of intellectual activities that you would do? You would go to, there is a norm of, Tirawi. It's a sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We go to, masjids, and then we offer Tirawi over there. This is a high time intellectual activity.
Exactly.
What we should do is we should go attend Tirawi and try to also read the translation of Quran.
Right.
It would make us intellectually a better human being because all the humanity logic that comes from Quran can come from nowhere else.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So this is what I would say, that then not only backbiting, then you also refrain from doing immodest things, that somehow or the other we are human beings, we can sin, we have a potential to sin, we develop bad habits, we should keep our gaze lower, we should not involve ourselves into intimate relationships. There is a way to go into an intimate relationship. So Ramadan is a time period where you can practice modesty as well.
Exactly.
Then most of the people, they would, when they are on roads, we see there's a kind of a momentum that we have gained. Like we are less patient on roads.
Exactly.
Right, that's true.
Most of the people, you'll say that when they are on road, they have got an anger inside of road rage that we call.
Yeah.
So Ramadan is a point where we can control our road rage as well.
Right.
But
Right.
it's not being controlled now, Imran. So what I want to ask over here is, because we are only left with the 5 minutes, and you'll be a regular on the show too, inshallah. So we'll definitely go in depth of different or various subjects as well. But
Right.
what we have seen is that people, they get more crazier, towards the time when it's iftar time probably, and whenever you're on road. The statistic says that there are more accidents more than throughout the year. There are more accidents in Ramadan as well. Yes, so things like these. I mean, what kind of mindset should we actually have on daily basis when we wake up, that we actually remember or remind ourselves to do all of these actions, so that they're instilled within our own personality and the character?
It's a very, very pertinent and a very, very good
Thank you.
question, as always. I always feel like that. So, as I said, there's an intellectual thing going on. So when Ramadan comes in, so what you should do is potentially try to recite one juz of Quran on a daily with translation.
Yeah.
In Quran, it will tell you how to be patient. What are the rewards of being patient? How to change yourself. Ramadan is an opportunity of transforming oneself. We see transformation, bodily transformations here and there nowadays. People going to gym, making weight loss. So the same weight loss kind of a transformation should come on the spiritual side as well.
Okay.
And again on the intellectual side as well. The more you gain intellectually, the more you lose, bad deeds, trying to sin, try to stop yourself from sin. So, the first thing that one should take care of is that as we enter Ramadan, we start feeling hungry. What would we do?
Yeah.
Right? Like we start, rising up very early.
Yeah.
Going for tahajjud. There's a whole lot of new scheme of things coming into life.
Exactly.
Right.
rising up early is a little heavy on one's nafs
Yeah.
or one's soul. So this is the first level of change that one starts, experiencing. So then eating at a time that is not a time to eat normally, like before Subh Sadiq, and then driving to your office, trying to refrain from again changing the habit,
Exactly.
trying to refrain from being angry at a person who is doing some kind of a wrong thing,
Yeah.
doing mistakes on the road.
Yeah.
Rather smiling instead of that.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing,
Yeah.
but yes, we can
Exactly,
do
and
that.
I think all of these points, ladies and gentlemen, are fabulous to start your Ramadan with as well. We'll definitely be in conversation with Maulana Imran Sandhu Saab on regular basis. We'll be asking him about different problems which people definitely encounter. But it was a beautiful thing to wrap up the segment with, where he said that we actually need to change our habits. For example, just keep a smile, wear a smile. This is the best curve on a human body, and I think that's what we need to look forward to.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, on this note, we're heading out to a very short break. When we come back again, we have something very informative for you in store, so stay tuned.
Because we want deen and dunya to go parallel.
Yeah,
Let's do
absolutely.
it. Good morning.
Good morning.
The Badshai Mosque, or the Royal Mosque in Lahore, commissioned by the 6th Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1671 and completed in 1673, is the second largest mosque in Pakistan and South Asia and the 5th largest mosque in the world. Epitomizing the beauty, passion and grandeur of the Mughal era. It is Lahore's most famous landmark and a major tourist attraction. Capable of accommodating 5,000 worshippers in its main prayer hall and a further 95,000 in its courtyard, it remains the largest mosque in the world. From 1673 to 1986, a period of 313 years, when overtaken in size by the completion of the Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. Today, it remains the second largest mosque in Pakistan and South Asia and the 5th largest mosque in the world after Masjid al-Haram, Grand Mosque of Mecca, and Al-Masjid al-Nabwi, Prophet's Mosque in Medina. The Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca and the Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. To appreciate its large size, the 4 minarets of the Badshai Mosque are 13.9 feet, 4.2 meters taller than those of the Taj Mahal, and the main platform of the Taj Mahal can fit inside the 278,784 square feet courtyard of the Badshai Mosque, which is the largest mosque courtyard in the world. Architectural wonders of Pakistan.
Welcome back to World This Morning with Shazad Khan and Shiza Hashmi. Ladies and gentlemen, in the first segment, we definitely spoke about the importance of this Ashra of Ramadan. And Ramadan Mubarak to everyone out there, all the Muslims who are watching and even the non-Muslims who are definitely observing this month with us. Exactly. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about something that is such an important part of our lives now, because we are, you know, a part of a generation. When we wake up, the first thing that we do is use our phones, use the social media apps that we have downloaded on our phones. And should I tell you, especially when we are talking about Ramzan as well, my Ramzan updates are also on my phone, of course. You know, this screen learning and everything. When even on my way to work, I'm listening to surahs and everything on my phone. So definitely, this is an important thing that we need to talk about. And also a little touch up of how to, you know, make this a balanced life, especially in Ramzan.
Exactly, and I think it is very important as well. But ladies and gentlemen, talking, obviously Shiza is actually trying to direct us towards the use of social media and how the youth can be empowered by the use of social media. This is what we have picked up on, and I think that this is one of the most important topics in today's life, and it's because, or in today's time, and it's because of the fact that the major investments are being made into the information technologies. And not just the information technology, in fact, on all of these platforms as well, where these platforms tend to go bigger and bigger in terms of the number of users. Every day the number of users are increasing. So we probably need to have a check on what's happening and, you know, how we can probably protect ourselves from all the wrongdoings which are actually taking place on the social media. Because whenever we talk about social media, I think that a lot of news is most of the time fake from those sources which are unreliable. And, you know, half of the time you'll see, you know, the post which might say, oh, you know, you cannot imagine what a father did to the daughter, and it's just for the sake of generating traffic. So I think that
clickbaits usually.
So these practices actually need to stop as well. But where do we actually put our foot down on saying that, you know, okay, now this is something which cannot happen, or this is something which is deteriorating our youth towards some other motive, or probably or is having a bad influence on us too as well. We have actually been joined by somebody who's a lawyer, and we have been joined by somebody who's a motivational speaker today, ladies and gentlemen, to speak about all of these issues. On my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Mr. Habibullah Khan, who's a motivational speaker. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Ramzan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum salam, Ramzan Mubarak to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very energetic for the first few days of Ramadan, I think.
You know, I will be.
well, I think that's great as well. And alongside Mr. Habibullah, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who's a lawyer, who's got a good grip on, you know, cybercrime as well. We'll be talking about that. Ladies and gentlemen, she's none other than Miss Huma, jamil. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam, alhamdulillah. What about you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. Lawyers are always known for being very outspoken as well, which I can pretty much see over here. But let's get the conversation started. Do you want to get it started?
Yeah, just with a very basic question.
Yes.
You know, social media is a tool that anyone and everyone has, you know, at the expense of their hands, their gadgets lately. So this is definitely empowering people. But how can we use that into, you know, turn that into positivity? Because a lot of people out there that we know are using it in a negative way as well.
Well, I guess we need to understand what actually social media is. Apart from connectivity, it's more of a, you know, flow of information. At every second there's a you know, different types of information. It's being processed by different, you know, types of backgrounds and by different types of resources. So when we are connected to the people, we don't even know, I mean, there's a robot or there's a genuine person on the Facebook or on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever kind of app that we are using. Talking about empowerment, you know, about, you can say, 70% of the revenue, you know, is being generated through social media in the world today. I mean, talking about digital marketing, talking about social media marketing, talking about any campaign that is being run by any kind of the company, you know, it's on social media. So they use different tools like, you know, graphic designing and video editing, and, you know, guys can learn these skills in order to, you know, pitch these skills to different companies, through which they can generate, you know, certain source of income. Talking about the how, you know, to get started. The very first thing again is say, you know, there are, you know, multiple types of applications, you know, talking about Facebook. Now Facebook, you know, you can go for a Facebook page, you can go for a Facebook group, you know, you can search for multiple companies. They are looking for the people who can actually genuinely, you know, design their graphics, you know, do their animated videos. I mean, I met a CEO, and, you know, and he said that, you know, I need one person who can do 4 things at a time, and I can pay him 5 lakh a month. And I asked him what. He said he should know communication skills on social media, on Facebook. How does he come across with people? Number 2, photography. Number 2, video editing, and number 4 is handling the social media at all. So the problem is one person knows graphic designing, one person knows video editing, and one person knows communication skills. This is how that amount or that money goes.
Exactly. I'm sorry that I'll have to stop you over here, but the sole reason why I'm stopping him over here, ladies and gentlemen, is that as he mentioned that that the unfortunate thing is that not many people know about all of these things, and I think that it is very important that people start acquiring all of these skills. But the other problem, ladies and gentlemen, which we encounter on a daily basis is that we see a lot of people who actually say or claim that they know all of these things, probably how to actually market an ad on social media platforms, and then they are taking a larger number of money from other people, and then the results are not there as well. So which is why I want to move on to Huma. So Huma, for example, if somebody has been in an agreement with me, they've said that they're going to market this ad on social media and they're going to get this much amount of reach for me. What if that they're unable to do it? I mean, what does the law say about that? And God forbid, if it was somebody who was a quack and has taken the money away and we do not have a written agreement or anything, what can we do?
First of all, the question you are talking about is the question of fraud, and it's a question of forgery.
Yes.
So the offences deals with is the Pakistan Penal Code offences. It's 420 and 471, 472 of the Pakistan Penal Code. First, these offences will attracted, and if we talk about specifically to the social media, then in late 2016, in late 2016, we have the first cybercrime law in Pakistan. So you can prosecute it or you can get for the FIR according to the sections of the Pakistan Penal Code and the cybercrime law. But for the thing is necessary for the agreement, as it deals with the Contract Act also, there should be a written agreement. And if there is an oral agreement, you should need the witnesses. Is there any amount slips, then you should also show to the court. Then you will file the FIR, or you will go to the civil court for the recovery or recovery of damages also. So if there are any quacks, the social media is a double-edged weapon. You can also give the advantages, you can also take the disadvantages. But first, the principle of law is that you should be vigilant. First, you have to vigilance.
And I think that's great, and this is something, ladies and gentlemen, which everybody needs to do on regular basis as well. I mean, we need to be vigilant in whatever matters of life. I mean, we cannot really be irresponsible on this. But we have a small video to share with you guys, which is about?
Well, this is about the impact of social media on our daily lives. Let's head out to watch this.
Good one.
World, they've clearly had a major influence on society.
Is, the internet, all that stuff that I don't use.
Social media. I guess it's a place for people to connect people from all over the world.
Well, this was, of course, informative. But Shahzad, there's this one thing that we do lack in Pakistan, especially in our culture, in different parts of the world as well, but that is media literacy. And when we are talking about media literacy, it entails how you should be responsible in using the platform that you're using. Responsible in understanding the sources of the information that you're looking at. Are they credible? Are they authentic? And then sort of direct your behavior, your faith, your beliefs towards that as well, if needed. But I feel like everyone around me does lack media literacy. I mean, we are definitely using so many. I'm not
being
pointing
the first
out.
person around there, ladies and gentlemen,
No,
being media illiterate. Oh.
No, but genuinely, we do. Even me myself, we do lack, media literacy. So coming to you, why do you feel
I wanted to add,
okay,
I'm very sorry for that too as well. But I think that everybody who's actually been into a graduation program should be. I think this is what my prerogative is, and that is that everybody goes through a thesis as well. And whenever we talk about thesis, so we actually have to write about our sources where we picked up our information from, because nobody wants to get into plagiarism. So I think everybody can pretty much use that kind of skill set to utilize the information which is available on social media. But then half of the time, yes, Shiza, you're very right, and I think everybody needs to be a part of it. But since we're in Pakistan, the most unfortunate thing is that it's hands-on experience as well. So you have to be in a job to learn it in the first place.
Right.
So probably in days to come we'll have conferences where people can go and learn about all of these things. But now I will let Shiza to continue with whatever she wanted to ask.
How can we, make the term media literacy common among people? Because of course millions of people out there are going to use it. We cannot stop that. But how can they use it in a responsible manner?
It's very unfortunate in Pakistan, especially, when it comes to cybercrime, when it comes to anything that bad happens on social media. That's the only time when we come to realize, we should learn about it,
Right, of course.
I guess, first of all, we need to look out some, factors like we should not share any post that is anti-Pakistan, anti-national, or anti-religious, or any post that creates, political differences, lots of, bad things happens because of, these debates on social media. Now, whatever you share on social media, you should be authentic about it. You should know the resource. I mean, just Shehzad was talking about the, when it comes to making thesis, even if you are getting information through Google or through Facebook, through any kind of, resource, through internet, you should be aware of the, authenticity. Because I have seen a lot of apps, they are actually manipulating. I mean, when it comes to education, there are like e-library is over there. You can get benefits out of that. But again, you should know how to use it. And you should get like, let me give you an example. Today we are working on speed learning.
Right.
Now speed learning is just your information is one click away. No matter it comes to technology, no matter it comes to education, no matter it comes to your any part of your life, because you are hooked up with your social media. Okay. Now talking about how to make it common. I guess we can approach our universities, we can approach our colleges where these youngsters, they are using social media. We can go, deliver some workshops over there about the awareness of the data or of the information that is being, shared consistently from the, right resources or the wrong resources. I guess this is what one of the practices that actually we have been doing also. I mean, through our, forum BYSP, we are doing that. I mean, we went to Cholistan and we did this practice, I mean, on, within 15 cities. Because I guess in every university there is no specific program for teaching people how to use social media.
Right,
we have the technology, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, but we don't have instructions. We don't have somebody to tell us this is the way you have to use Facebook.
Right, it doesn't come with a manual. That's absolutely true. But ladies and gentlemen, social media happens to be a platform where anyone can share anything, and this was just a few days back. I think I came across the news. It was about a very sick-minded person who was using his Facebook to upload videos about torturing animals. There was this small kitten that he used to torture, and then there was a group of people who were actually demanding for these videos. While that person was then again, of course, caught by police, and then he was in the jail for let's say, short period of time. But Huma, you have to answer this, because when we're looking at this sort of news, definitely a lot of people are going to learn from him and say, we're not going to do it. But a lot of people, a group of people are definitely going to take that as an example and be like, मैं अपना Facebook इसके लिए use कर सकता हूँ, for likes and everything. So how can we go about that? I mean, क्या scene है?
First of all, this is not the first case in the history which I saw that there is a lobby, there are multiple pages, there is a you can say the group of people who are running these kind of pages and these kind of videos just not to gather the data, but also they are playing with the psychologies of the people. There are, as we have the lack of psychologists, we have no psychologists in our universities, we have no career counseling debates over there. So this is the main reason, that's why I think this kind of videos are viraling on the social media. And if I am talking about the law, so as you said, there is no proper kind of punishment for these kind of cruel videos, as there's obviously 2 to 3 years imprisonment only or some little bit fine, but it should be a deterrent punishment for the all of our society, for the Facebook users or the Instagram users or whatever, because now social media is a proper subject. We should include that subject in our syllabuses also. We should have the instructors in our schools, universities to guide the people how to use the Facebook, as there are the Facebook policies, but unfortunately Facebook is failed to implement his own policies over there. So we can only give awareness about them. Laws are there, but again I said the implementation of the laws is always a question mark.
Very well said. Thank you very much for being with us. It was wonderful to have you. It was lovely to have you, especially in the month of Ramadan as well, where social media, ladies and gentlemen, I think plays a very vital role in spreading the message of peace, harmony and love too as well. It is always your, I think, preference to look for what kind of content you actually want in your life. There's a lot of content, there's variety in it, there's variation in it, and then there's ruthlessness in it as well. So please make sure to opt for whatever you think you'll be fine with.
That's true. I really hope you guys took away something from our show. Shahzad and I have done a lot of talking for the day since we are definitely fasting. So for all of you out there, I really hope and pray your roza goes smooth till Iftari.
And I guess
do remember us in your prayers as well.
And I guess it's going to be time for us to pray now as well. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, for every Muslim who's out there who's actually observing or keeping their fast, and unfortunately for all of those Muslims who cannot keep their fast, what you can do is probably pray as well. But do not forget to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
World This Morning.
On Twitter.
World This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion on YouTube.
World This Morning.
And this amazing repeat's going to be
5 past 11 p.m. tonight.
Till the next time, look after yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.